headed up to Olympic sport. Well, considering the number of competitors, you told me how many are in France?
Over 100,000 licensed players playing. Also, more and more people playing it all the time in France. A huge amount of catchment area. No wonder the sport is big.
So one looks at some of the Olympic sports and wonders why this one might not make it one day, but I suppose every nation starts out with its own sport, then tries to teach it across the world, and then hoping one day it will become big, but it's certainly growing all the time indeed. And the bit about this that I like, Pat, because I've watched it being played all over France when I've been travelling on the Tour de France and so on, is you can end up, you see the chaps in a village square playing it, you find it behind a cafe playing it, you just need a piece of land about 12 metres by, 3 metres, and off you go, providing it's this sort of, I won't say this sort of surface exactly, but you can't play on grass, can you? But a sort of gravelly surface, you're in business, aren't you, eh?
This is the great joy of the game. It doesn't take thousands of pounds to lay special peaks. All you need is an area, get on and play it. In fact, it's very, very cheap to start, but again, you can, because of the undulations in the ground and this sort of thing, you can develop high skill levels, and we hope we'll be seeing some of those here today.
Well, we're looking here at Algeria and France. The score there, 6-9, a very close game, this one at the moment. That white line, by the way, at that end, is that any measure then, or is that, what's the reason for it to be there?
That's purely a guideline. There'll be a line much further near, we can't see it at this point, but that will be the actual boundary line. And if the cochinet or a ball goes over that line, then it'll be deemed dead.
So 9-6 then to France, in the rainbow-coloured jersey. Algeria here, you can see the white jerseys, plainly with their name across the back. Some are very smartly turned out with their appropriate kit. I think one team turned up last year without any kit, didn't they?
They did indeed. One of the African nations turned up without kit, but that was remedied. They found a kit before the opening ceremony and looked very, very smart indeed. I think Algeria are in a little bit of trouble here. They're taking quite a time to debate what to do now. The French are very, very relaxed, I think. But we'll see. They're trying to defend an end here. A good point, but I don't think it's holding.
And it came right from there, so he must have put some spin on it, or do you think he looked at a portion of the ground, because it looks fairly flat to us, but it's not, is it?
It's not flat. In actual fact, they're purpose-built pitches, and they have their own character. Believe me, they are a lot harder to play on than they look. There's one of the Algerians practicing, which is not allowed, but obviously the umpire is not looking.
That's very close, isn't it?
It is. It's closer than I thought. It wasn't in. That's a much better point. That's taken the shot.
And the Algerians really giving France something to think about here.
Very much so. Algerians, like a lot of the North African countries, have a great enthusiasm for the sport and a high skill level, obviously through the French connection. Pointing again, not quite as good, losing its line. A rather pensive looking Frenchman there. The Algerians seem to have more and more ball left. I think this is the final ball. And at the moment they are holding one.
So does that indicate he's going to try and get closer to the jack, or is it rather than on the opponent's ball?
I think he's going to actually try and push through, push the French ball to the side to give him more than the 1 point. But it's very difficult to see from here. In fact, he's dropped short, so that shot wasn't on anyway. And they're debating how many. That's going to a measure. The French are not quite so confident. Just seeing there in slow motion, a typical point, but it's dropped short. It's very important when pointing to know exactly the spot that you're going to drop it on. With all the stones underneath that surface, there are some quite big stones, so it's advisable go and look before you point, as you see most of the top teams doing.
So Algeria 11-9, that's going to surprise the French then. They pulled it back. We joined the game at 9-6. You see on the screen, the background there, 11-9, Algeria. Algeria.
Although the French seem in trouble, there doesn't seem to be a lot of emotion. In fact, they're calling on the umpire. Umpire, but the first time we've seen this.
So the Algerians have put the pressure on the French.
The great thing about the players is the respect for the umpires. The decision by the umpire is absolutely final, and no one ever argues with that, which is good. What he's using there is a slide rule, very, very accurate. You can get within almost half a millimetre right against the cochinet and against the ball. So there's no way in which that one looks 1 to the French, I think. Yes, 2 to the French, now 11 all. A good shot. Oh, they'll be disappointed with that. It's gone through.
And the crowd very interested here because the French under pressure from the Algerians. And at one time being leading 9-6, now 11 all.
Good shot. Excellent. A carrow at that stage would have been crucial. Fortunately, it didn't stay for the Algerians.
In slow motion again. Look at this. Got the game here, eh?
That was a dream point. It's too good. It's too good. It's going to force the French to shoot.
And he did.
Oh, absolutely. He's taken the cochinet.
Now, when the cochenets move like that, can they continue playing, or is that brought it to a halt?
I think it's gone beyond the deadline. I think yes, it is. It's a dead end. I think both teams had ball in hand, so therefore it will be a dead end and they'll resume the other end. Here we see it now in slow motion. Very, very accurate. A little bit unlucky, the French, because it was a carrow, but it's taken the cochinet beyond. No, that was a very good shot.
How much advice do they take from each other? You can see
it's very important.
Aiming, yeah, I truly he can take a guidance from that.
It's very important that the other 2 members of the team do help the person pointing, although it's a game of individuals.
But look at this then.
Absolutely.
That's superb, wasn't it? That's one of the great games.